The boat takes 12 minutes. That is all that separates you from San Francisco. 12 minutes across the bay, less than 2 miles of cold grey water. You can see the city from the deck, the lights, the buildings, the cars moving in ordinary afternoon traffic. People going home, getting coffee, arguing about nothing, living their lives inside the assumption that tomorrow will be available to them. You're in handcuffs and ankle shackles. A federal marshal stands to your left, another to your right. The prison sits on the island ahead. Grey stone, watchtowers, the American flag. They call it the Rock because that is precisely what it is. A piece of stone in a bay, stripped of everything that was not necessary for containment. The year is 1955. You have been convicted and sentenced and transferred, and this is the last transfer. Men come to Alcatraz from other prisons when they have proven they cannot be managed anywhere else. Some are violent, some have escaped other facilities. Some are here because the government decided that their particular reputation, for organisation, for influence, for the ability to run things from the inside, made them too dangerous to be anywhere accessible. You're not Al Capone, you're not Machine Gun Kelly. You're one of the 260 ordinary dangerous men who, on any given day, populate this island. The famous ones are footnotes. The men nobody has heard of are the majority, and they serve their time in the same cells, under the same rules, breathing the same salt air. The boat docks. The shackles clink on the gangway. A correctional officer counts you from a list. He does not make eye contact. He has done this so many times that individual faces have stopped registering. You are a number. On this island, for however long you remain, you are a number. Segment 2. Processing. They take your clothes. They take your watch, your wallet, your photographs, your wedding ring if you have one, your cigarettes if you have any. They give you a list of what you have surrendered and file it. They give you what you will wear. A blue shirt, grey and white pants, a webbed belt, cotton underwear, socks. You wear this every day. You're not permitted to wear caps in the cell house. You're given a number. You will answer to this number. You're given a copy of the rules. All of them, printed clearly, because Alcatraz operates on the principle that ignorance is not an excuse. You read them. They are exact, specific. There are rules about walking pace, about speaking volume, about the angle at which you must stand during counts. There are rules about what you're permitted to have in your cell and what constitutes contraband. You have 4 rights on this island: food, clothing, shelter, and medical attention. Everything else is a privilege. Privileges are earned, privileges are lost. For the first 3 months you're in quarantine. No visitors, no letters out, only letters in, which are read by staff before reaching you. You speak to no one except when spoken to by a guard. You learn the count schedule. 12 times a day, guards walk the tiers and count every body in every cell. The count at 6:30 a.m. wakes you before you have fully decided to wake. The count at midnight wakes you again. The count at 3 a.m. is routine. You adjust. Your cell is 9 feet by 5 feet. A bed, a desk, a wash basin, a toilet on the back wall, a shelf, a single window that faces the bay, and through which, on clear days, you can see the city. You will spend more time looking through that window than you will spend doing anything else on this island. Segment 3. The daily routine. 6:30 a.m. The morning whistle. You've been awake since the 3 a.m. count, lying in the dark, aware of the weight of the concrete above you and below you and on all sides. The whistle does not so much wake you as release you from the pretense of sleep. 6:50. Count. 6:55. You file out for breakfast. Single file. Silence. The rule against talking loudly was relaxed years ago, but the culture of silence remains, not because anyone enforces it on every exchange, but because after enough time in a small space with men under pressure, silence becomes self-preservation. You do not want to be the cause of something in a place where there is nowhere to go when something starts. Breakfast is served. You have 20 minutes. The food at Alcatraz is, by the standards of the American prison system, genuinely good. The administration believes that bad food causes more trouble than it prevents, and they are right. You eat. You do not waste food. Wasting food is a violation. 7:20. Work. If you have been assigned work, you go to it. The laundry, the tailor shop, the kitchen, the furniture factory. You're paid, minimally, a few cents per hour, and the money accumulates in an account you cannot access until you leave. If you have no work assignment, you return to your cell. The job gives you hours. Without it, you sit in 9 by 5 feet and count the minutes. You learn quickly that the assignment is the gift. Even the worst jobs, even the laundry on a hot day, even the kitchen's early mornings. Work means movement. Movement means time passing. Time passing is the only victory available to you on this island. Yard time. 1 hour, most days, in the concrete exercise yard that faces the bay. You walk in circles. Some men play baseball. Some men do nothing but stand at the railing and look at the water. On clear days you can see sailboats, families on the waterfront, the bridge. All of it visible, all of it unreachable. The geography of your situation rendered in perfect daily clarity. Count, dinner, count, lights out at 9:30 p.m. You do this every day, for years. Segment 4. The silence. There are sounds in Alcatraz that take on meaning over time. The count, the whistle, the clang of the cell doors, a heavy, specific, final sound that lands different from any other door sound, carrying in it the full weight of what a locked door can mean. The footsteps of guards on the upper tier, rain on the concrete, foghorns from the bay, San Francisco jazz drifting across the water on summer nights, barely audible, but present. You are permitted one visitor per month. The visit happens through glass. You speak by intercom. No physical contact. You're not permitted to discuss events at the prison or current events in the world. You're permitted to discuss family. You're permitted to discuss nothing dangerous, which means that what is permitted is also what is, after long enough, painful. Because what family news can accumulate in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, while you remain exactly here, exactly the same, watching through the glass. Your daughter is 9 when you arrive. She is 13 at your second visit. She is 17 at your third. Something happens to time in here that does not happen anywhere else. It moves slowly, specifically, measurably slowly. You can feel each hour, and yet the outside world moves at full speed regardless, and the gap between the two speeds accumulates into a distance that no visit can fully bridge. The hardest thing on the rock is not the cold, not the isolation, not the noise of other men through concrete walls at night. The hardest thing is watching the city from your window and understanding that the only thing between you and it is water and a decision made by a court, ratified by a system, executed in stone and iron, and that no amount of wanting changes the arithmetic. Segment 5. D Block. If the cell house is the prison, D Block is the prison within the prison. You go there once for 3 days for something that began as nothing and escalated in the way that small things in enclosed spaces always escalate. A word, a look, a misunderstanding about a place in a line. 3 days in the treatment block. D Block is segregation. The cells face the outside wall. No Broadway, no neighbours you can see, no sound of other people going about their day. Meals in the cell. 2 showers per week. No work, no yard. Nothing but the cell and the hours. The whole is at the end of D Block, cells 9 through 14. The men who go there are given bread and water. 1 10-minute shower per week. 1 hour of exercise in a week. The worst cell, they call it the Oriental or the strip cell, contains nothing but a hole in the floor for a toilet. You can be placed in it naked. The light is controlled from outside. You have no say over when it comes on or goes off. You serve 3 days in D Block, not the whole. 3 days in a regular D Block cell with meals, with a window, with the knowledge of the walls. You come out with a new understanding of the specific weight of silence when there is nothing on the other side of it. You do not go back. Segment 6. The plan. Everyone on the rock has thought about it. You do not think about it seriously at first. The bay is cold, 55 degrees Fahrenheit most of the year, cold enough that a man in the water for 20 minutes is in trouble. The currents are brutal. The distance to the mainland is 1.5 miles. The guards do 12 counts a day. The perimeter fences are topped with barbed wire. The watchtowers have clear sightlines in every direction. But then you hear about the 1962 escape. Not from outside. It becomes known inside over years, the way things become known inside. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, 6 months of work, saw blades from the workshop grounds, spoons from the mess hall, a vacuum cleaner motor converted to a drill, dummy heads made of plaster, flesh paint, real human hair. A workshop set up in the unguarded top tier of the cell block, raincoats stitched together into a raft. They inflated it with a concertina stolen from another inmate, modified to serve as a bellows. They went into the water on June 11th, 1962. They were never found. The FBI investigated for years. No bodies, no confirmed sightings, No definitive answer. Did they make it? In a place where the answer to every question is no, this one question remains unanswered. And an unanswered question in a 9 by 5 foot cell is not nothing. It is the one crack in the wall that the concrete cannot seal. Segment 7. The years. You serve 9 years on the rock. This is how you know time passes. The faces change. Men arrive with the particular raw alertness of someone who has not yet adjusted, and you watch them adjust. And then you watch them become part of the furniture of the place. And then you watch them leave or be transferred and new faces arrive. You are eventually one of the constants. The old hands. The men who know where the warm spots in the yard are in February, and which guard does the midnight count fast and which does it slow, and which table in the mess hall gets the best light on a grey afternoon. You learn things you did not know you would learn. You become, in ways you did not anticipate, capable. Not in ways that will be useful when you leave, in ways that are useful here. You know how to be still. You know how to read a room by the way the air in it changes. You know how to want something without showing that you want it. These are skills that prison teaches, and that most of the world will never need, and that you will carry regardless. On March 21st, 1963, Alcatraz closes. Robert Kennedy signs the order. The costs are too high, the infrastructure too old, the purpose too specific for the world that is coming. The remaining inmates, or including you, are transferred to Marion, Illinois. You leave on the ferry, the same 12-minute crossing reversed. You look back at the rock as it recedes. The grey stone, the watchtowers, the window of your cell. Cell B224, where you spent 9 years of your life, visible from the water as a small dark square in the grey face of the building. San Francisco's on the other side. The lights are the same, the traffic is the same, the people going home in the afternoon are the same, only you are different. Segment 8. What remains. The island is a museum now. Every year more than 1 million people pay to take the ferry to Alcatraz. They walk through the cell house with audio guides. They stand in cell B2, 2, 4 or 1 like it, 9 by 5 feet, and they feel the smallness of it and the heaviness of it for the duration of their visit. And then they take the ferry back to San Francisco and have lunch. They stand in D block and peer into the hole and feel what the hole would feel like for the duration of the looking. They stand in the yard and look at the water, and they understand, in a brief tourist way, what the water meant. The 1962 escape remains officially unsolved. The FBI kept the case open until 1979. The US Marshals Service never closed it. Every few years a new piece of evidence surfaces, a letter claiming one of the Anglins survived to old age, a photograph, a fragment of equipment. Nothing confirmed. The Bay keeps its answer. What Alcatraz teaches, what it taught everyone who went through it, guard or prisoner, is something about the specific weight of time when it cannot be spent freely, when you cannot choose how to use an hour, when the view from your window shows you exactly where you want to be and exactly why you cannot get there. You can see the city from the rock, you could see it every clear day for 9 years. That visibility is not comfort. That visibility is the point. The punishment was never only the island, the punishment was the view.